Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. Well, look who's here. TEQ UI Goku tweeted out by Global Dokkan. Obviously, this is very good to see. We got the animations as well. So we have TEQ UI Goku tweeted by Global Dokkan, and we have his banner unit Dispo tweeted by Global Dokkan. It's funny because they tweeted the French details. Even though they usually tweet the English, I mean, it would make sense for them to tweet out like the details of all the different versions, right? But anyway, it's just a funny thing that they did that. I mean, I guess we could just talk in depth about TEQ UI Goku and Dispo. By the way, if you guys are curious, we are expecting that UI Goku could show up on the 5th. Is probably when we'll see him, but we'll see. We'll see. And I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but not only should UI Goku, again, probably drop on like the 5th, but I mean, I do think we then would probably see Topo on the 12th still. So Global is moving fast, boy. And I mean, I don't think that there's a 0% chance we could see Jiren in August for Global as well. Cell Max and Roshi, I don't know about them. Because, I mean, even if Jiren does drop on the 19th, then this next week, this is going to be the worldwide download celebration. So, I don't think they're going to potentially fit Jiren, Master Roshi, and Cell Max in August. I don't know when they're going to come, though. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say, like, oh, they could show up in the normal global, like, Tanabata spot and stuff like that. But remember, I mean, immediately at the conclusion of the worldwide download celebration, we're moving right into the full sync. So, you know, JP gets a DOKKANFEST and Global's going to get the same one. Like, there isn't really empty spots so much. Like, Global would have to get, like, additional banners. And with all the extra characters in such a short time, unfortunately, I mean, outside of them, again, giving the characters for free, I don't know that there's any real right or wrong choice here. I mean, it is a gacha game. It's just, you know, this specific period in time, it's going to be tough as a global player to get all these characters. So let's talk about UI Goku. UI Goku has an A++ leader skill, Universal Survival Saga, and Trusted Will or Realm of Gods. An easy way you could look at this is Beast Gohan and Carnival Gogeta added to Universal Survival Saga. That's an easy way to look at it. I have my LR tier list right here. If you notice, most of this is actually well, I mean, we have 6 of the top 10 is Universal Survival Saga, right? Now, any given moment, I feel like I could kind of rearrange these 3, AGL UI, Evolution Blue Vegeta, and TEQ UI. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, Vegeta above UI Goku feels right, but UI Goku is able to go slot 1 a little bit more consistently against some of these biggest bosses that lock their supers in slot 1. Certainly, though, we could point out that the 2 hardest fights in the game have dodge canceling phases, and so AGL UI Goku is a fish in those fights if TEQ UI Goku's domain is not up. So that's a big thing. So at these 3 moving around, like, I feel like this list right now, I wouldn't change anything about this. It's just these 3 you could definitely easily move around, I think. All right, so UI has a lot of good abilities. He does have the support on his 12 and 18 key right there, make the rotation a little bit stronger. One of the big things I do want to point out, let's just talk about it right away, is his transformation. 5th turn from first appearance. It's just, there's a huge difference, especially if we're factoring in the 2 hardest fights in the game, which are designed around this guy. It's him showing up between turn 1, turn 2, or slot 7. It changes everything, right? Because in the Blue Cow Ken Evolution Blue Vegeta fight, you go right into phase 2 and you have dodge canceling. And then the Goku and Frieza fight, you get the 17 and Golden Frieza and they're dodge canceling. So you need to try and get this guy's ability out as quick as you can. When I've done those fights, in particular, again, the 2 hardest fights in the game, I really want to use double TEQ UI. Because that gives us the highest chance to get one of the UI Goku's in turn 1 so we can get that transformation out. It is so important to be able to get that transformation, that you know, World of Void domain, because once that domain goes up, right, all superclass allies get 4 ki for 3 turns. You get the superclass allies and enemies 15% attack and defense, but then you disable enemy evasion canceling effects, and then you get an extra 15% attack for all allies and Realm of Gods. That ability, like, that's, you know, this guy is the strongest domain character in the game, right? And that, like, this is crazy. I mean, if they're going to start having domains should have super special shit like this, because it seems like there's no update coming. Like, when they said domain update, I feel like they were referring to, like, this. Like this, like, when we saw that kind of, like, update roadmap or whatever, they were talking about this, I think. I think that's what they're talking about. So, like, with that knowledge, I mean, domain characters are always working on a clock. I mean, it's a gacha game, so every character is eventually going to get power crept. But domain characters, it's even faster, right? Like, LR Future Gohan, I mean, you know, Broly comes out, and, I mean, we don't want to run Future Gohan on Broly's team because their domains will clash. I mean, this guy, if it's a dodge canceling fight, this guy, you know, should have prevalence, but if they're going to drop future domain characters, they really need to give them these types of abilities, really unique, special things to really give you, like, a risk reward in some of these events using some of these domain abilities, right? Now, this UI Goku, compared to, like, Gogeta and Broly, this UI Goku is a lot stronger in base. He's much stronger in base. He's got the 70% chance to dodge, 70% chance to crit. He has a guaranteed additional in slot 2 with a 70% chance of it being a super. And then if he dodges first, he gets a guaranteed additional super. So if you're fighting an AoE enemy, he can quad super in slot 2 or 3. He also has damage reduction as well, which is pretty good. This is what a dodge or die character should look like moving forward. This is where, like, you know, like, because it's, I mean, it barely even quantifies as dodge or die, right? When, you know, he has this dodge, but then he's also got damage reduction and guard. I mean, if a character is going to be competing for best unit in the game, they're going to have shit like this. Like, this is what it's going to look like. He's pretty good in base. Like, remember, getting locked in this guy's base form is not like, oh, you're going to lose. Broly is really shitty. Well, and Gogeta. They're really shitty in base because when their intros run out, Broly and Gogeta absolutely are awful. They're terrible when their intros run out. UI Goku, when his intro ability runs out, I mean, he's still got the 70% dodge. Broly and Gogeta do not have that just built in like that, right? I mean, this guy loses stats as well, but I've found him just to work significantly, but he's way better in base than Gogeta and Broly, right? Then when you transform him, I mean, this is like the single highest peak of Dokkan currently, is this guy's first turn in this mode. Although I do say that, and there is, you know, the damage check Goku and Frieza fight. If all the, because this Goku, his counters don't break that 10 million threshold for against Goku and Frieza, at least that I've seen, before Goku gets to attack. Once Goku attacks, right, then he's getting, like, this buff, he's getting this buff, like, you'll get this buff right here. All this extra damage will push his counters to hitting, you know, he's doing 12 million damage crit counters to them, which is good. His first turn transformed, he has 100% dodge. You guys know how good it is to have 100% dodge at any point, right? Very valuable. He's got, again, the big damage reduction. He builds up dodge and crit. I mean, he's just absolutely crazy. He does kind of feel like a must summon. Like, I would call him a must summon, yes. But, I mean, global players are at a position where you're going to be tapped out on stones. And that is exactly what Amatsu and Bandai and Akatsuki's intention was clearly here, right? Like, they want people to go, oh my god, I can't miss this guy, time to buy stones. I'm sure there will be some sort of special discounts and stuff like that. Because, I mean, to have DOKKANFEST every 2 weeks for, like multiple months in a row is going to be pretty crazy. I mean, if you look at it, global, I mean, let's just assume Jiren isn't coming. Starting from right here, you have, so this is going to be 5 DOKKANFEST / Carnival LRs, and then there's going to be another 4 in August and September. So you're going to have 9 Carnival and DOKKANFEST LR characters, which are those are the highest classic characters, in, I mean, just a little over 3 months. Or probably, it's probably more like 2 months, almost exactly, because the part 2 LRs for worldwide, they could either be probably the 13th or the 16th, one of those two. At 13th sounds likely to me for the worldwide download celebration LRs. I don't know. Again, 13th or 16th. So it's like from July 9th on global to like September 16th. You're talking about, 9 DOKKANFEST LR level characters, which is crazy. So I don't know. I mean, just do whatever you want is the best I could say, because the worldwide characters are going to come out. They're going to be very interesting as well. Yeah, it's just that simple. This is why, I mean, I would hope a lot of you guys were, I mean, even if you were skipping Frieza and LR Ribrianne and Gohan and Piccolo and all these like shitty characters, even if you were skipping all of them, I mean, surely you would have probably blown your load summoning for Gogeta and Broly and Beast, right? It's just an unworkable situation. Like, it's no matter what. I mean, if they're gonna do the sync, characters are gonna get forced in. Then we also have Dispo. Dispo's pretty good, but Dispo gets hard countered in the 2 hardest fights in the game because he's completely built around dodge, and then specifically the hardest fight in the game, Dispo is all about stacking up his damage and, doing several, like, super attacks and stuff like that, right? Like, he gets the 50% attack for 11 turns. He does build up kind of like the permanent damage and stuff like that right here, which, I mean, is really good. But you need to do so many super attacks for Dispo to be able to damage Goku and Frieza and their 10 million damage threshold. So it's very frustrating. And there's extra relevance talking about Dispo in that fight, because there's the Universe 11 mission. So that is just so baffling to me. They created such a difficult, toxic boss, such a difficult, toxic mission, and 2 of the 3 Universe 11 Tanabata characters suck for the fight. I think TEQ Jiren is like balls in that Goku and Frieza fight, and Dispo is really not that great either. Now, AGL Jiren, of course, is God in there. And Topo is very good. But it's just like, they've dropped a bunch of Universe 11 characters, and they're just not as good as we'd like, right? But Dispo is very good. I mean, if as long as you're not running him against the Goku and Frieza fight, you'll be able to see him take full advantage of his abilities, getting a lot of crits, a lot of supers, a lot of damage stacking. And he's, of course, got a lot of dodge, right? The way he works. You need to specifically hit the super attacks with him. You could potentially get cucked with the 70% chance to super and the 70% chance to super, but it is what it is. So there we go. Again, global, we should be seeing the data download and stuff like that probably on the 5th. We probably will see the data download and UI Goku coming out like pretty much at the same time. So let me know what you guys think. But TEQ UI Goku, Daddy is on his way.